Yeah. Cowboy Armadillo, say hello to Toots! Good morning, hunters of the night. I wanted to do something fun, right? I wanted to create a tier list that's going to be ranking all of the, well, not all, but most of the notable Castlevania characters from the Castlevania anime and the Castlevania Nocturne show. And it's just going to be fun. We're going to be ranking them based on, like, themes, their design, and then the most important, my personal enjoyment of them. So yeah, let's just diddle right in. So, how I have this set up, right? On the tier list, you've got the one above all. There's only one person who can go in this slot. Next up on tier 2, we have close favorites. Only 2 people can go in this slot. And then for the love them tier, tier 3 kind of opens up pretty good. You know, same thing. Meh, actually awful. Not a fan. And then the worst. Only one person can go in the worst. So, let's just go ahead and get into it. Starting us off. Also, before we start, general spoiler warning. I'm not getting in trouble for that. You can't be in the comments and say I ruined something for you. So that's on you, bro. That's on you. Starting us off, we have the Abbot, Maria's dad. His design's pretty basic, right? Just like a white dude, blonde hair, blue eyes. He's the demon forge master, sorta, but not really. His themes weren't really too big. Like, none of his motivations made sense to me, so I'm just gonna put him in actually awful. I did not like him at all. He just was... He was there as a plot point, but it was just a really weak plot point for me. Next up, Alucard. The baby. The man. Kid Dracula in the flesh. I'm just gonna go ahead and put him in close faves. I love his design. He's one of the most recognizable characters from Castlevania. And in the first show, they did a pretty good job, still showing him pretty, like, half-human and everything. So, and just overall, he looks cool. He's got the Alucard shield and the Alucard sword. He's using, like, his transportation, like, displacement magic and everything. He's a martial prowess, and his just the themes of him, man. Like, his whole love life, going up and down, having a horrible time, until he met a very nice lady at the very end, so... Yeah, Alucard close faves. I only have one more spot for that. Next up, we have Annette from Nocturne. She was meh. A lot of people don't like her redesign because they want to see the Tera, or not Tera, but they want to see the Annette character from Dracula X Chronicles and also Rondo of Blood. I personally like Annette. I think that the themes that she had with, like, the slavery and, like, connecting spiritually to her ancestors and everything is really cool. And it brings a little bit more culture. I like it, but it just wasn't really done well, so it's kind of like a meh. Plus, she was just awful to Richter the entire time. Like, just... If it's my way or the highway, and I didn't like that. There didn't feel like there was any cohesion. Throughout the entire series, like, our entire Nocturne show, it just didn't make any sense to me. So yeah, she's getting a meh. Like, probably in the next couple seasons, I might move her up depending on how she goes. And how she starts interacting with the rest of the team, but we'll see. I did love her, like, spirit magic and everything. Like, her ancestor spirits, like, especially the one during the Infernal Machine when she's trying to push it back into hell, and you just see this dude pipe a little dog, and he's just like, nah, go on, get. I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, just meh right now. She might go up. Next up, we have the Captain. I liked him. This guy was a very important, played a very important role for Isaac's development, and he asked some interesting questions and kind of challenged Isaac on his faith and his beliefs, which, very good plot points. I wish we got to see more of him, but I just love how he's like, I'm an old man, you're gonna bring night creatures on my ship? Hell yeah, make my life interesting. So yeah, that was a pretty good one. If we got more of him, or if he played more of, like, Isaac's conscience going forward, then I might have put him higher. But yeah, he's cool. I thought he was going to be Grant from the OG Castlevanias and everything. But yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Next up, Carmilla. I love Carmilla. I think Carmilla, another classic, iconic Castlevania character. I loved her design. I love when she was going crazy. Her fight with Isaac and everything was just, in general, a lot of fun. I liked how you kind of saw the slow transition when she was getting into power, where she went from, like, I'm doing this for my sisters, I'm gonna control the world. Loved it. A lot of fun. Her design's really cool. It's just it fits the Carmilla design, especially when she has those bleeding eyes scene. It just really reminds me of her boss fight with like her giant face and everything. So very, very well done. And I love the way that she's like, okay, I'm losing, fuck it. I'm not gonna let you kill me. I'll do it myself. So yeah, pretty cool. I did enjoy it. Next up, we have Death. Mark Hamill's Death. He was a very interesting character playing the vampire and everything, and how it changed into him actually being the like the spirit of death, the soul sucker. My favorite meme is that he's just a little Reddit poster with like his shit spiel to Trevor. So yeah, he's pretty good. I liked him. The animation was a little bit buggy for me. Not like me super talking shit, it just kind of like that whole ending fight scene, which was really, really cool, just was like, whoa, okay, hold on a second. But yeah, loved his design. Thought he was really cool. He could have been a little bit more impactful, maybe. I almost would have wanted to see him working more with Dracula. Because, like, especially in the games, he's Dracula's #1 fanboy. And he kind of was a fanboy, but he was like a shitty, like, contrarian fanboy. I don't even know what that means, but it's a big word, so I'm going to put it in there. Next up, the man himself. Dracula. You don't even have to question it. He's the one above all. He is Castlevania, right? And they portrayed his themes, his design, everything perfectly. His voice acting was good. His like flashback scenes were really good. The first episode of Castlevania, very, very interesting. And like, it just makes sense for him to be #1. Even though we probably won't get him anymore in Castlevania unless they do some weird resurrection kind of thing, which I don't think they will, since they tried that with the what was it called? The Rebus or whatever? Like merging Dracula's soul and Lisa's soul into one perfect being. So I don't think they're gonna do that again. But yeah, his cape's flowing. He's shooting iconic magic like the giant meteor. He's beating the shit out of everybody. I loved it. I thought it was so cool. And he has probably the most iconic line in the Castlevania shows, which is, "You must be the Belmont." Absolutely delicious. Very, very well done. So yeah, he's gonna take the #1 spot. You know what? I'm pretty sure everybody knew that was coming, right? He's just, I don't know, man. All of Dracula's scenes, I enjoyed. I loved how he struggled with like the depression of like losing his wife, and he's just like, if my wife isn't in this world, then this world shouldn't exist. And I'm like, oh, I messed with that. Burn the world, baby. You lost the love of your life. You're not gonna go to therapy and cope? Burn it, dude! Kill everything! All about that, man. All about that. Ah, my cinnamon coffee, very yummy. Oh no, it's not! Next up we have Dragon. This is like this was a vampire that pretty much was putting the works on Alucard, Trevor, and Sypha near the end of Dracula's like arc in the show. And he kind of reminds me of like the typical like, this is Vladimir Depeche, right? Wait, hold on. Yeah, Dragon's like the Vlad the Impaler kind of dude, like the concept art for how Dracula was. He's really cool. I loved him. His fight scene was so much fun. Like he was just, oh, my arm's fixing to blow up from the Morning Star. I don't care. Come on, let's keep going. I'm ready to die. Are you? Yeah. So that was pretty good. Generally enjoyed his fight scenes. We didn't get him for very long, but yeah, pretty good. Next up, I wish I had more spots for my second tier, because this is one of my favorite characters from Nocturne, Drolta. Automatic, love them. I love her so much. She has like constant costume changes, and each time she's absolutely serving. She's a 10 out of 10 for me. She is so freaking cool, man. And like, she doesn't have a lot of themes. She pretty much just serves Erzsebet, which, you know, that's fine. It's cool to have like that one loyal follower, the ride or die, as they say. So yeah, I love Drolta. she seemed a lot stronger than she actually was. Like, especially at the end of Nocturne, where Alucard's just like, no, ew, stab, get away from me, you filthy mosquito. Yeah, her death scene broke me. I wanted to see her have like a full-on fight. They had a pretty good fight the last episode with the main cast. So yeah, she's going to love them. She was so much fun. Generally, really, really liked her. Next up, another Nocturne. We have Edouard. Pretty good. He's one of the more interesting characters. You know what? No, he's in love them. Especially when he goes to his night creature form. I thought it was awesome. I loved like the hands on the eyes, the bright blue eyes, still singing. Because so these aren't like actual night creatures, right? So the Abbot isn't a Devil Forge master. He's pretty much just changing someone into a night creature, but not like removing their soul or dragging a soul up from hell or anything like that. So he's just changing the body, but not the soul. And Edouard, very interesting character. Probably one of the better supporting characters in the show. His themes were drawn out a little bit more, and he was just in general interesting. I liked his whole opera singer thing, so it was pretty good. And he played in with Annette pretty good. Pretty well, pretty solid 6 out of 10. Not bad. You know what I mean? Not bad. Next up, we just have an evil bitch, Erzsebet. She's pretty good. Erzsebet in Nocturne. She's pretty good. I love her designs. There's a couple people in my comments who thought she looked dumb and she looked like a furry. I thought it was pretty cool when she ascended into like her Egyptian goddess form. I thought that was a nice play of like bringing in other mythos into Castlevania and kind of like fleshing out real world like mythologies and everything. So that was, me personally, very well done. But she's just like she's just bad. You know what I mean? She's just an evil bitch, you know? So she's going in pretty good. I might like her more. About the only scene that I really, really enjoyed was also at the end of the show, where she was just like, did you think I was going to kill your daughter? No, I'm going to turn her. And then she actually ends up turning Tera. And that kind of like manipulation and like just being bad instead of just being like an outright slaughterfest kind of raised her up, because she was probably going to go in meh for me. But she's pretty good, you know? Not bad. So we'll see how she goes moving forward. We have another vampire coming up. I absolutely love this man. I love the actor. I can never remember his name. Let me look it up real quick. Godbrand actor. Peter Stormare. Stormare? I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong and you're watching this. Peter Godbrand. Loved him. So much fun. That dude's voice is iconic. He plays everything so well. I loved him in Brothers Grimm. Godbrand is just like the traditional Viking dude who happens to be a vampire, and it's so much fun. You know, he adds a lot of comedy relief in really dumb ways, and he just in general has good scenes. I thoroughly enjoyed him. He made me laugh almost all the time, and especially like when he just gets taken out by Isaac, I was like, that's what you get, you dumbass. So yeah, he's going up here. He's a fun character. I really do enjoy him quite a bit. Next up, we have the sweet girl herself, who is getting placed lower than Godbrand. We have Greta, Alucard's like, maybe not love interest, but just someone who generally cares for him in the last season, and when he was escorting the civilians through the Belmont hold and everything. And she was pretty down to earth. Really enjoyed her. Not a bad character at all. So yeah, pretty good. Not bad. Okay. Now, I might get shade for this one, and this especially sucks because he is from one of my favorite Castlevania games. Hector. He's actually awful. I love his design. I love that he is very, very much so an iconic, like, Curse of Darkness look, but he's a whiny crybaby who is so indecisive, ends up getting Stockholm Syndrome, and then when he finally wins, he wants to, I don't know, it's just, I didn't really care for Hector. I like the Hector from Curse of Darkness quite a bit more, and it's hard for me not to separate the mediums, you know, because obviously the adaptations are very much so different than the established game lore. So it's pretty easy for me to do with a lot of characters, but especially my favorites like Richter, Hector, Dracula, Alucard. Like, those are very hard to separate from. And Hector was one of the few where they didn't give him a lot of very interesting themes, or themes that I would resonate with. They just kind of made him like, it was cute when he brought back that dog, though. So maybe I should put him. Nah, he's staying in actually awful. I generally didn't like Hector that much. Just not a fun character for me. I do like his resolution with the next contestant, Isaac. Isaac going all the way up to the top in this, taking the second spot in the second tier, closing that tier off. Close favorites, Isaac. Isaac's themes are incredible. His redesign, delicious. They took a man who was in skin-tight leather pants, a twink, kind of a whiny baby, and turned him into like this dude, this like stoic, awesome guy who's struggling with his faith, finds it. He has his ideals questioned. He has a whole just very well drawn out character art, and he has the second hardest scene for me when he's fighting Legion. The dead bodies that are falling down on the city, and he's fighting the Necromancer. That's Legion from the Castlevania games. And he's just going to town with his own army of night creatures, stabbing them and immediately making them into other night creatures. I loved that. His fight with Carmilla was a little goofy. I did particularly love seeing, what was the name of that devil? The winged devil who's like protecting him and is obnoxiously strong. That's another character from Curse of Darkness who honestly deserves a spot on this little Tiermaker. But yeah, just Isaac is incredible. And how he fights with his devils, how he questions like the risen souls from hell and everything. Very, very well done. If Dracula wasn't so iconic, I would put Isaac there, because I do love Isaac and his whole story a lot. Yeah, you can't really get much better, much more better, gooder than Isaac. If I didn't have my bias for Dracula and for Alucard, Isaac's probably the strongest in the show. But just Dracula and Alucard, absolute favorites, and they're one of the few show characters that really kind of stuck with their game lore too. Which, like I said, I'm trying to separate them, but when I see things that kind of mesh together with the lore that I know and everything, it makes me like them a lot more. So, yeah. Moving on, we have... Is it the Bailiff? This fucking loser. I'm so tempted to put him in the worst spot. Oh, this dude killed kids. He acts like a good guy, but he's just a manipulator. And he's probably in the weakest season of Castlevania. I generally hate everything about this man, but I don't know if I want to lock down the bottom slot yet, so... fuck it, I don't want to be indecisive. He's going in the worst spot. I can't stand him. He's just a basic looking dude who gets a little power hungry, and he's upset that he got put in the country somewhere. And then he has an apple tree, makes spike pit traps or whatever, and then just sends kids to go die in them. So yeah, he's the worst. And the way he keeps trophies and everything, like the general disgust that Sypha and Trevor have, that's what I felt. I was watching that show and I was like, kill that motherfucker! Go back, pee on his corpse, he's disgusted! So yeah, he's going in the worst. Absolutely cannot stand the Bailiff or whatever the fuck he's called. Just pretty bad. Not a fan. Next up, another Nocturne character. We have Julia Belmont. I enjoyed her, but she's going in meh. Her design was really cool. She was throwing hands with Olrox, like barely having any issues up until Richter got in the way. And in general, having a new Belmont is a lot of fun. And I did enjoy her. I wish we saw her more. I hope we get flashback scenes to kind of expand on her, but that probably won't happen. Either way, she's going in meh. She could have, you can't really be mean to her on this one, because she's gone, and there's not a lot to expand on. She was just kind of like the foundation for Richter, and Richter's like trauma and all that. So she's going in meh. She could have been, I don't even know if she could have been better. She's just a side note character, pretty much. Next up, this one hurts my soul. Another Nocturne, another Belmont, and I cannot separate the game. Nocturne's rendition of Juste Belmont, in the first season at least, is terrible. This man is one of the strongest Belmonts, especially like magic-wise, And he just got done so dirty. He's like, my entire life has sucked. I'm gonna hide in this village and watch my grandchild, but not teach him anything. And I don't have my magic anymore. Rip. So yeah, I believe it was Harmony of Dissonance, right? I think Juste was Juste was Harmony of Dissonance. And he had a lot of, he's so powerful. Like he said in the show, he could like burn nests with just a thought from his magic. That's how strong Juste was. And it just sucks seeing what they did to him. And in general, he's just kind of like a footnote. Obviously, season 1 is building up the foundations for the rest of the show. Season 2, I hope he gets a lot more. I hope that him and Alucard are like the wise mentors and everything, but we'll see. Right now, I can't stand him. I think he just hurts my heart. Next up, Lenore from the first show. Actually, the worst. Yeah, she's hot, but she is a manipulative piece of shit who I don't understand why people liked her so much. Because she pretty much just seduced and made Hector have Stockholm Syndrome. And then starts treating him better so she can manipulate him more, but then it turns out he's manipulating her. And she's just like, well, I don't like this, so I'm going to kill myself. So it just, I don't know. Her designs are pretty good. But like I said, she's hot. I can't stand her at all. She's bottom tier for me. She's very close to being the worst. I generally did not like Lenore at all. Very lame. Next up, we have Lisa. I'm making an exception to the one above all rule. Husband and wife. Dracula needs his wonderful wife who just wanted to be a scientist and help humanity. Lisa is so much fun. Generally enjoyed how they expanded on her and her dialogue and lore. They kept her very iconic with the game lore as well. So for being for real, she's actually not like in the top. She's in the love them because I generally like all of her scenes that she's in and how Alucard talks about his mom, how Dracula misses his wife. But thematically, we're just gonna put Lisa up there with Dracula just to make him feel better. You know what I mean? Next up, we have Marie Renard from Nocturne. She's pretty good. She's playing like the idolized, like revolutionary, like she's a young woman, she's 19, she wants to change the world for the better, so she's like very much gung-ho, go after there, get them. But she's very soft because like, especially like when one of her spirits dies, she doesn't know how to deal with it, she doesn't know where her magic even comes from, and it's pretty good. Her themes are set to be good in season 2. And I think we're going to go through an arc where she's kind of like how Trevor was in the first Castlevania, where she has no hope because she lost her mom, the revolution's not going good. In general, she's going to go down and dip back up, be cheery, fighting for what she believes in. She's pretty good. A lot of her animation is very, very well done. I like her design. Pixie Davis did a very, very good job voice acting her, so she's pretty good. I almost wanted to put her in meh, just because there was like a few things that I didn't like why is she so strong in melee combat? She was using that short sword like it was nothing, dude. And she's supposed to be like a magic caster, but maybe that's just me nitpicking. Overall, pretty good. I did like Marie. Next up, Mizrak cheeks. Love them booty cheeks, my boy. Man's thicker than a Snicker. Good lord. Yeah, dude, this guy, he's pretty cool. I generally enjoy Mizrak. I like making Mizrak cheek jokes. You go on Twitter, on like the Castlevania side of things, there's so many memes about this man's butt cheeks. So yeah, I generally like Mizrak. He's a member of the church, and he's trying to fight for what he believes in his god. But I think in season 2, we're going to see his faith question, kind of like how Isaac's was. I don't know if the story is going to be as good, but in general, when Mizrak was on screen, I enjoyed it. Especially those cheeks, oh my boy. Damn! Oh hell, what's this chick's name? She was one of the vampire sisters. Morana? She's meh. No, she's actually awful because I just don't care about her. She's the weakest of the vampire sisters, the diplomat. And by weakest, I mean like story-wise, she didn't really play a lot. She was just a lover of Striga, but she never had like any big scenes or anything that like made me feel anything for her. She was just like a vampire, but not like an evil vampire. She was just like, I just want to have food and I want to live forever with my wife. Solid, fair enough. But yeah, I just don't care about her. So unfortunately, she's getting in the actually awful. You know what? That's kind of rude. I'll put her in meh. Since I don't have a very valid reason to why I don't like her, she'll go in meh. And I feel like that's fair. Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Next up, I see this man's little thumbnail. Olrox! I love you, Olrox. Get right next to 30, your boyfriend. Get right next to Mizrak. Olrox, the strongest character for me in Nocturne. He had the best themes. He had the best background build-up. I liked his fight scenes where he like turns into the Aztec dragon. I believe it's like the Quetzalcoatl. Kind of like representation. So, very, very cool. In general, Olrox is probably one of he is my favorite character for Nocturne. His themes are very interesting. He's kind of playing like the backstabber, like, oh, I'm gonna do what I want, but you're not gonna subjugate all of us. I don't like that. I like his background with him having a Native American lover. And you can tell that in his design because he has beads from like Native American culture and everything. So very, very cool. And that was probably brought in by Zane McLaren. Dude is incredible. Love that actor very much so. He's got a couple podcasts he's been on. He's a really chill dude. I like him quite a bit. But yeah, Olrox's strongest character for me in Nocturne. So much fun. And while I think the chemistry between Mizrak and Olrox was super missed out on, like it was so rushed. 1 second they're fighting in a courtyard, the next they're clapping cheeks. And the funniest thing about this, someone on Reddit pointed this out, and it had me laughing. Mizrak lives at the church, right? Olrox is in some tavern somewhere. So Mizrak was a fucking booty call for Olrox. Had to go probably across town to show up and have smoochy sexy time with Olrox. So I just the thought of him just walking through town like, praise God, I'm gonna get some wee wee here in a little bit. So it's just really funny to me. But yeah, goes and love them. I generally loved Olrox. Very, very good design. Powerhouse did a very good job with him. Next up, we have Richter. Richter's my favorite Castlevania character in the games. I have him tattooed on my arms, but he's I almost want to put him in meh. He's pretty good. He has the basis for being very, very interesting. It's just his character arc and development was not very well thought out in the show. Animation, spectacular. Fight scenes, spectacular. Using magic, spectacular. If his themes, you know what? No, I'll put him in love then. The more and more I talk about it, about his weakest point is how he deals with his trauma, right? And so he has like that fake confidence bravado kind of thing, which, a lot of dudes do. It makes sense. It's very believable. It's just we didn't get a lot of all the stuff that Richter could have like really excelled at and been a pretty interesting main character. Kind of went to Annette because she had the most ground to cover. But yeah, Richter and his fight scenes incredible. Very, very much enjoyed them. So yeah, well, I'll put him in love him next to Olrox, his PTSD reincarnated. Cinnamon coffee. Next up, this piece of fucking shit. Sala. You know what? I'm expanding the worst category. Sala goes in here. These two characters, I hate them so much. You know what? The third character is going in here too. Sumi and her like brother, the shitty siblings. Why did you do that to Alucard? He just wanted friends. He just wanted to have, people. He missed Trevor and Sypha so much, and you just manipulated him. That's fucked up. So Sala, the bailiff guy, and Sumi and her brother, get out of here. Y'all are the worst. Y'all make me sick. Did I spit a little bit? I meant to fake spit, but I guess I actually spit. Striga, pretty good. I love her Berserk reference. Her like daylight armor and everything is pretty cool. She's one of the more interesting characters in the season that kind of focuses around like the vampire sisters after Dracula's death. I just in general enjoyed her. She's a warrior. She doesn't care what happens. She's just doing what her sisters believe in, and she's there because she loves them. She would go higher if Carmilla wasn't such a fun character for me. But overall, Striga, very interesting. Did like her a lot. Pretty fun. Next up, Sypha. Get up there to love them. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. You know, she's like she's the one who like always has hope, always believes in things, and is ready to fight for humanity and do the right thing. And in general, loved Sypha. Her speaker magic was really cool. One thing that was very, very interesting to see was how she went from being the cinnamon coffee's fighting back, dude. One thing that was really interesting to see was how Sypha went from like being okay in melee combat to like using her magic how like almost Richter uses it. She's very like strategic, everything is like on the nose, very, very well done, detailed. I loved it. I loved Sypha. She was so much fun. So yeah, she goes up there. What a sweet, sweet woman. Next up we have Tera. Tera's meh. She plays like the mom character for the new show, and she's powerful, and she tries to be like the moral compass, but she comes off as really, really indecisive, and it just kind of like hinders her a little bit. If she was more, they're trying to portray her as like just a very good mom, and very like trying to do the right thing, but with her being indecisive, it kind of pulls it back a little bit. If she was just a little bit more firm and stern, mixed in with in general being a good parent and everything, besides lying to your kid about your dad, about you know Marie's dad, that's an L on that one. But overall, Tera meh. Her design was really fun. She almost gets bumped up to pretty good because of the last episode where she's getting turned into a vampire and she like starts getting ravenous and feeding off of Erzsebet. But I don't know. Season 2 might make me move her up higher, but we'll see. Next up, Trevor. Right next to his lady friend. Sypha and Trevor. I love Trevor. Richard Armitage did a very, very good job playing Trevor. His voice sounds amazing. His animation is good. His design is very reminiscent of like Simon with the barbarian belt, like the barbarian Belmont from like Lords of Shadow. And just in general, I love it. His whole character art, from having no hope to just fighting because that's what he thinks he's supposed to do, to finding the will to live, and, you know, his sacrifice against death when he actually lives. Very, very well done. Trevor, I like Trevor. It was really cool seeing him have the Vampire Killer and the Morningstar Whip. So, yeah, man. I'm a fan. Next up, we have Vlad. This was such a stupid character, dude. He's not the worst, right? He's just a bad character who has shitty themes and a shitty ending. So Vlad was the new guy. He was the one who owned the slave plantation over Annette and everything, and like killed her mom and all that stuff. Vlad was kind of like brought in as like a hyped up character, and he gets taken out so easily, and he's just a fucking puppet for Erzsebet. I don't like this guy at all. He's not the worst, right? He doesn't make me feel any type of way. He's just a bad character. And especially how he gets taken out, where he can't like go through the bars of like the holy fence post or whatever the hell. It just was lame. It could have been done better. It could have had a better resolution and a better build up for Annette's character. But it was so lame. I did not care about Vlad at all. And finally, we have, I don't even remember this character, Zamir? Zam? I think it's Zam something. Yeah, the worst. Actually ruined people in Targovishte. Stupid character. Silly goose. Lame. Has a lot of PTSD, but also is just, in general, the worst. Get out of here, you little smelly fucking turd. Yeah, showed you. Sure did. And that's everybody, right? We went over, oh my god, I don't have Saint Germain in here. Oh, how did I forget that guy? He was super important. Okay, just pretend Saint Germain is in a little block right here and pretty good. He started out not looking like his video game counterpart, but near the end he like donned like the red suit and was going through the corridors and all that. Saint Germain was a lot of fun. He was very witty. and it was interesting to see how he was manipulated by death into making the rebus and everything. Overall, Saint Germain, a lot of fun, but he is going in the pretty good tier. He did not make it into the love them tier. So there you go. That is all the characters that I could think of, and we just had some fun with it, right? Like and subscribe if you want to do that. Comment down below what you guys think of the characters. Tell me what you think. I'm gonna save the template. It's under like Castlevania characters ranked on Tiermaker. You want to make a video or something? Just go to town. Anyway, thanks for being here.